One of the most important days in the history of Allhallows School dawns bright and clear. For days before, the area had been shrouded in an annoying sea mist all too familiar to pupils and staff and known locally as the Roosden Mist. But as if to give its blessing to this particular day, the sun shines down on the last-minute preparations. Today is the day that the Duke of York is coming to the school to open the new sports hall. For present pupils and the thousands to follow, an event to cherish. As pupils thread their way from their houses down to the school, the usual frolicking and jostling has been replaced by an air of expectant dignity, which must have surprised the staff. A proud day, too, for parents who've come from all over the country and even flown in from abroad for an occasion that will be talked about for generations to come. The stage is being set, the audience congregating. A big day too for the headmaster, Mr. Peter Larkman, who was housemaster to the Duke of York at Gordonstoun, and who has offered His Royal Highness the invitation. A feeling of muted anticipation as the school awaits the arrival of their royal guests. At the side entrances to the hall, the contestants gather. It's nearly time. As the police escort pulls up, Mr. Larkman gives his watch a surreptitious glance to check that his former pupil still practices the lessons of punctuality which he was taught at Gordonstoun. Now, of course, Prince Andrew has other people to make sure he arrives exactly on time. But it's the Duchess of York who is first out of the car to the cheers of the onlookers, closely followed by the Duke, accompanied by the Lord Lieutenant, the Earl of Morley. First to greet the royal couple is Mr. J.A. Danieli, chairman of the governors, and Mrs. Danieli. Then a cheery hello to his former mentor, Mr. Larkman, and his wife Jenny, before the party moves on. Next to be introduced are the school governors. And the bursar, Mr. Paul Dallimore, shares a private joke with the Duchess. Then into the sports hall, an impressive building covering a ground area of 1,000 square meters. In the front row, the first cricket 11, and of course, television cameramen here to record the event.
If we look around this sports hall, I hope that it is obvious what an asset it will be to the school. Also, as happens quite often in both summer and winter, for the last few days, we have been living in the clouds, or as it is known locally, the Roosden Mist. Fortunately, someone up there has been looking after us today. If you had been there, however, during the Roost and Mist, you could have seen even more obviously why the school needs this new facility. Your Royal Highness, during your school career, you were in the position of having to call me sir. It gives me great pleasure to reciprocate this morning by saying to you, please, sir, will you do us the honour of opening our sports hall and thus inaugurating the Allhallows Festival Sport?
Headmaster, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the school. As I know, in a school you can't forget the pupils. Firstly, being a teacher, I know that you're not supposed to start by apologizing, and I'm sure you've all heard that before. But I do apologize that we haven't really got very much time to visit the school today because of our exceedingly busy schedule, and I will admit that it was a mistake on my part that I arranged something in London last night so we couldn't come here earlier today. Your headmaster and I I didn't mean it quite like that, but your headmaster and I go back quite a long way, and in fact I joined him in his house at Gordonston in 1973, and I ended up as his head of house by the end of my time there in 1979. So I think I know him quite well. More importantly, that I'm now serving in the Roost and Mist, as you call it, just down the road at Portland, and serving with 702 Squadron, which is affiliated to the school. And I have on one previous occasion visited here. Some of you may remember in my links. And I was talking to one member of the school staff on Monday morning who said that this rather impressive sports hall was in a bit of a mess on Monday, and he hoped that by Saturday that it was going to look very, very smart. And I must say that arriving today in the sunshine makes a great difference. Going back to my school career, I will admit to getting a very surprise telephone call from Peter Larkman at Balmoral in 1979, when he announced to me over the telephone, to his great surprise, that I passed all my A-levels. This came as some surprise to him because I was his captain of cricket, and I spent most of my time out on the cricket ground and sports plays, rather than doing the homework that I was supposed to be doing. But I will say that sport and work go together. That's physical exercise and mental exercise. One wakes you up and the other one puts you to sleep. At least certainly Latin put me to sleep. And at Dartmouth, I undertook to do the Royal Marines Commando course, and whilst undergoing a course of physics, maths and mechanics, which is another favourite topic of your headmaster. And I must say that both complemented each other, and I was genuinely surprised that they did. And I passed my exams and also passed the commando course. Sport is very important, and I do hope that with this splendid facility that you will use it wisely and you will further your sport throughout the school and to other people who come and use it. And I must say that I am exceedingly jealous looking at this, remembering what I had at Gordonston and what I've seen since with the Navy. I think that rather than continue and tell you a story about my wonderful wife. I'm not entirely up on her school career, but she was head of hockey, I think. But didn't play a great deal of indoor sport. It gives us great pleasure today to open the Sports Hall and to inaugurate your week of festival sport. Thank you very much.
The plaque is officially unveiled and everyone is in the mood. And at the end, a reminder to the Prince of a teddy bear he gave to Mr. Larkman at Gordonstoun. Happy memories for Prince Andrew, no doubt a cherished possession for the now headmaster, and a school joke recalled. A chance now for the royal pair to meet some of the pupils, and the Duchess no doubt recalls some of her own school days in the gymnasium. Outside in the sun, a presentation of a bouquet by a slightly nervous James Moore.
Sorry about that. Keep back.
A sad sign of the times is the intense police security, even at such a convivial occasion. But even the close cordon of bodyguards can't prevent the Duke and Duchess having a farewell joke with the head. An anxious police team supervises the royal couple's departure.
Okay, chaps.
With their escort of cars lining up in convoy, as the spectators catch a final glimpse of their distinguished visitors.
Sorry, mate, you gotta move.
Had security been too severe? A senior police officer explains the problems to the head. But the departure of the Duke and Duchess doesn't mark the end of the day. Far from it. There's a lot more to come. For the parents, there's a pleasant reception with something to drink and eat before the afternoon gets underway. A chance for the ladies to discuss the Duchess's outfit, and for the men to remember what the Duke said to them. A relaxed mood after the inevitable tensions of a royal visit. Sports Week covers all the variations of recreational activities available at the school, and cricket, on one of the few warm and sunny spring days, holds pride of place. It's difficult to imagine a more perfect setting for our traditional national sport. More serious things on the minds of the first 11, who are at home to Sheba College. And of course, no grown-up can resist offering advice to a young batsman about to go in. On the magnificent cricket pitch, which the school owns and treasures, the Colts are soon involved in a close-run inter-house match. But the headmaster and his wife decide to watch the juniors in a house game. As the cricketers go into the pavilion for tea, we'll leave them and go to the new sports hall, where an exhibition of basketball is being given by two major outside teams, Bracknell and Portsmouth. For these athletes, it's an added bonus to be appearing in a brand new, tailor-made hall. The staff versus pupils indoor soccer game might not show the same professionalism, but what it lacks in style is made up for by enthusiasm. There are side shows for visitors to take part in.
15. Now you can cool down. Oh, look, you can cool down. Can I cool down? Slow down. That's it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Lift off. Lift off.
On to tennis. An instruction is given to the ball girls and line judges, all of them pupils, on their duties during the games to come. Star attractions are Jeremy Bates of England and Malcolm Walker of Wales.
Thanks very much for a fantastic game. How did you enjoy the sports hall?
It was great.
Like it?
Yeah, it's very much so. It's a nice court. It's always nice playing indoors because there's no sun and wind and things like that.
Yeah. And Michael, did you find the lighting was good enough?
Yeah, it was fantastic. At the very beginning it was difficult because we've been playing outdoors, but once after a couple of games it was fantastic. The heat is great, very nice.
Did you find there was enough room behind the baseline? Or?
Yeah, there was no problems with the court at all, behind the baseline or on the side or anything. There was plenty of room.
On to fencing, and the pupils are put through their paces by their instructor, Mr. Jeff Featherston. A demonstration of indoor hockey is put on by the pupils. Then a display of gymnastics, again by the pupils. In another corner of the vast hall, a display of table tennis. The girls put on a netball game which gives proof, if needed, of the versatility of the new hall. Then individual cricket coaching given by Graham Wiltshire, the Gloucester county coach, who casts an eye over the school's first 11.
Right, now the other way round. Straight through there. There were times you were coming down and only half hitting him. Off spinner. You see, if you make a mistake. I got too close to that, so I did on the ground.
In the library, a chance to look back on the school's recent history, as Mr. Kitcat talks to Mr. Jimmy Bliss, the librarian and longest-serving member of the school staff.
Now, Jimmy, you've been at the school longer than any of us, haven't you? What, about 38 years?
Yes, well, I suppose I'm the oldest inhabitant, actually, now.
And since you've retired, you've been running the library?
Yes.
Keeping in touch? So you must have seen a lot of changes in that time.
Oh, gosh, yes. You see, I came just after the war, really, 49. The war intervened, and the school only moved here in 37. And the war came, and so they couldn't do any building or anything like that. They were just starting to build in 49. The first thing was the pavilion, in fact. That was being built, I think, it was just when I arrived.
And the pace has hotted up recently.
Oh, yes. So, as soon as money came in and so on, and the school enlarged quite a lot. Science buildings and new houses and all the rest of it.
And then Gethin Hewan took girls into the school.
That's right, that was a tremendous change. There was a certain amount of uncertainty about that. I was all for it, actually. I thought it was a splendid thing to have girls in the school. Having been a housemaster without girls for quite a long time, I thought they would be jolly good kids.
Yes.
And to begin with, they only had 6 girls altogether. I had 3 attached to my house. They were charming, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I like teaching girls too.
Yes.
These are only 6th form then, of course.
Yes. And of course, Gethin was responsible for the swimming pool.
Oh, yes, he
and the hard area which was actually built under, or completed under Donald Matthews.
Yes, but it was instigated during Gethin's day. Gethin Hewan.
And then the squash courts were built while Donald was here.
Yes, innovation. Of course, that building there, what was originally the study block,
Yes.
and now is used as a 6th form club almost, and various offices. But to begin with, it was built as a study block. Didn't really work. And my one thing I'd like to see before I pop off is a new theatre, a proper theatre.
And there are plans out there.
Oh yes, there are plans to convert the gym. Whether that's going to be suitable. I'm not sure. I have not seen the plans, and I don't think they have really crystallized yet. But I hope that I shall see it sometime, because our productions have to be done in the hall, and it's very do-it-yourself and ad hoc, not satisfactory, really.
Yes. Well, I think following the sportsman's prize, we should have a prize on the art side.
I think we should. I think we should, yes.
And one of the other things that we had in mind, of course, also is a new boys' house to take some of the boys out of the main building.
I think that's very necessary. I'm not really in the councils of the mighty these days, so I don't know much about that one.
No.
I try and keep my ear open about a new theatre, because I'm interested.
Yes.
But I'm sure it's right, and a new boys' house is very necessary. As far as I'm concerned, I hope the next thing on the list is going to be a theatre, which we badly need.
Yes. So, one way or another, there's a lot to look forward to.
Yes.
Service over for all. Service over.
And as tight to the line as possible. It's another practice anybody can do when they go down to their local club or when they're playing or at school. Excellent sort of practice. You should be able to hit these dozens and dozens without making a mistake. It's not easy. Sue's doing quite well here.
Back in the sports hall, a display by some famous badminton players, Paul Holden, Miles Johnson, Betsy Blair and Sue Lewis.
Service over.
A lot to look forward to indeed. These pupils are looking forward to being top badminton players and are having individual coaching from the experts. And then a chance to pit their skills against the leading players.
That's probably why I'm not doing very well.
Meanwhile, the headmaster was still trying to knock the skittles over out on the sideshow, not very successfully. And boys are given a chance to pitch at bottles, no doubt emptied by their parents earlier. While girls try a rather more sedate sport. And one boy tries the really intricate.
Yeah, you start shaking after a while. That's bad, I didn't think of it.
But in the true tradition of school life, everything stops for tea. No ordinary tea, this. There are mountains of it. And as staff, parents and pupils tuck in, there's a chance to mull over the week's events. Back in the sports hall, a group of Royal Marines show off their prowess at stealthy approach. Another use for the hall illustrated by the gymnastics team. While outside, Major General Colin Shortis inspects a guard of honor drawn from both sexes in the school's cadet force. The musical background to the inspection is provided by piper Harry Oakley. At the end, general salute by the colour party.
General salute!
From the parade ground to the assault course, as weary young legs struggle to keep up to time.
Are we going to be able to get over? Well, no, if two people hold the bottom of the net. You can hold the net and we've got it, please. Okay, we have full marks.
Come on, you're just...
And another group stage a mock attack. Which ends in a full-scale platoon charge. A mysterious bleeping heralds another fascinating demonstration. Mr. Jeremy Willis is head of the school's Coast Guard section, the only officially recognized unit of its kind in the country. There's an emergency.
Right, we've had a report that somebody down on the beach, somewhere, I think that's them down there, Humble Point, down that path there. The call sign is Allhallows Alpha. Give me a call when you get down there and give me details if you need an ambulance. Okay, off we go.
While the rescue takes place, two local teams give a display of volleyball. And a little later, indoor hockey took their place. Followed by a junior school match of a new game for them, handball. and netball, illustrated by teams from Devon and Somerset. The sports hall eventually falls silent as evening arrives. The school's new pride and joy has been thoroughly christened. A building which, over the years to come, will provide challengers, cheers and champions from the pupils yet to arrive. But young mouths have to be fed, and after the excitement of the week, a chance to talk about it all. From the bustle and babble of the dining hall to the tranquility of the art class. Here some quite exceptional work is underway. All under the watchful eye of the art master, Mr. Philip Graves Morris.
Beautiful, supreme bit of work. Lovely, lovely. Now, what about the cross-hatching for texture down there?
A bit too light around here.
A bit too light. You could.
I mean, all around here is just a bit.
You could take some of it out with a finger, to make it smoother, to get the textures.
I think will get it a lot better.
Yeah, it's lovely.
Get sort of more pieces.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Well done.
Work is going on too in the chemistry lab.
For the Festival of Sport, we have the latest high-tech computerized fitness equipment, aerobic cycles, and the pupils are using these as part of a sponsored calorie burn in an attempt to raise extra money to fund more sports hall equipment. Right, so that's 36 calories. 36 calories, 1 minute 40 to go.
Finally, a presentation by the headmaster of First 11 Colours to the captain, Simon Claro, and Jonathan Stanford. Then Mr. Larkman talks to the school about the week.
Some of you may not be aware that the Colts had a very good victory yesterday. And the main architect of that victory, I'm not sure if he's here because I have a feeling he went out with his parents, but Nicholas Natman took 9 wickets for 9 runs, which must be the best bowling performance of this season so far, if not of any season, and I think he deserves a round of applause. But the week of the Festival of Sport has been just as important. It has meant that there has been no feeling of anticlimax. It has enabled you all to see some really top-class sportsmen and sportswomen at close quarters. Because that's what it's all about. Participation. Whether you're in the choir or in the 10 tours team or whatever, that is what Allhallows is about. Taking part. Putting something into the place. I'm sure you all know the well-known maxim, the more you put in, the more you get out. It's certainly true. And so now is a time for thanks for a job well done. Thanks to all the pupils who watched, or played, or helped, or boys at indoor soccer. And finally, and most important, thanks to the one man who did most to get the festival of sport going and to keep it going in all its facets, often when things were very difficult. Thank you, Mr. Jones-Williams. I now officially close the Allhallows Festival of Sport. Well, it's been quite a week, but I hope that this week in May 1987 has given some illustration of what's been going on here at Allhallows. If you've enjoyed watching it as much as we've enjoyed doing it, then we're all satisfied.